Hello, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, you guys.
Hey guys,
Welcome to From
welcome to
Started
From
to
Start.
Over, the Watchers Work podcast with Kim and Latrice. All right, guys. So, as you can see, we have changed our time. We have switched it from 8 p.m. For Tuesdays and Thursdays to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As school is getting started, we have babies, grandbabies that we need to get taken care of in a timely fashion. So we figured if we start our conversations around 5, we can finish and get dinner started, babies bathed, and in the bed on
And
time
and
for
maybe
the.
you guys can listen at 5 o'clock. That's a good time to listen. Ride in the car, Spotify. It's a good time to listen.
Yeah, maybe you guys can catch us live as
Yeah.
we continue to grow our podcast. So we actually also have something new. Kim wanted us to kind of introduce a little snippet in the podcast. Well, we're still going to have various conversations, but she wanted to try something where we kind of learn together. So, Kim, can you explain what that is you wanted to introduce?
Yeah, I want it. We say we're the way to change, things around and bring it back to positive, so much negative flowing to turn it back to positive. We said we wanted to have continuous conversations. So I feel like what are we having? Are we having conversation of positive things? Are we giving out positive things? Are we learning? Or are you guys learning? So I feel like let's try something. Let's learn together. You know, in order to learn, in order to trust something or someone, you have to learn them. We had to learn God, and we're still learning them. We had to learn Jesus, we're still learning to trust. You gotta learn. You have to learn. We didn't just start trusting Jesus because we woke up and said we about to trust him. No, we learning on the book. Out of the book, out of the Bible, we're learning Jesus, what he likes, what he does, what he's doing, whatever. We're learning Jesus. And I feel like if we talk more about learning, delivering words of wisdom of how to learn a person or a thing in our conversation or sessions, as Latrice would say, sessions, I think we could learn together and grow and get more positive, um, you know, positive turnaround, positive feedback, positive people wanting to change their mind. I think we would get more of that if we were to learn together, to grow together, to ask questions. You ask us questions. We kind of put questions out there that you guys could maybe answer if we, wouldn't know the answer, or if it's not in the kingdom way, because that's how we're going to grow together and learn together the right way to change things over in the kingdom way. So did that make sense? There was a lot, but did it make sense?
Let's okay. How about you start us off? What do you want to learn today? What would you like to discuss in the
So
arena of learning today?
right. So conversation. So we're having a conversation of maybe taking a topic and learning, like learning in person. So I would want to have a positive conversation of things that we could do, that we would do, you and I, of positive to in the conversation. So that they're learning with us. We already learned the kingdom way, and they're kind of like learning with us. Whether we agree to disagree, they're still learning with us, and then we provide reliable sources of what we've learned, and we're learning together.
No, I got that part. I'm just saying. So, what do you want to start today? What do you want to talk about
I
today?
mean,
And then kind of tie that in, I guess.
maybe when you start off, you learn a person. So we're learning people. We give some positive, conversation on how to learn a person. You know, and people think when you meet someone, maybe in a relationship, because
Okay. Start there.
we're
Yep.
trying to do relationship help change
We
the
trying
way.
to get these men to step up. Let's just
Right.
say it.
That's what I'm trying to say, but I don't want to say it. So
I'm gonna
you
say
say
it. Here
it.
go Latrice. Let's get these men to step up.
And
Now, okay.
so yes,
So when we're
so
learning these godly
yeah,
men, is that what we're
yeah.
saying? When we're learning these, what are some things? Ooh,
Right.
ooh.
You don't you didn't just, like I said, you didn't just wake up and learn Jesus. So you gotta learn a person. I feel like you get the representative in the beginning. when you call on the phone to a company or something, you get a representative. They tell you anything, even though they're trained to tell you whatever, but they can tell you anything and you believe
Wait a
it.
minute, hold on, sister. Who's trained to wait a minute? You said even though they're trained to tell you whatever. Who's trained to tell who whatever? What are
I'm
we
just
talking
saying,
about here?
I'm just saying people can be representatives in the beginning.
Could be, but not necessarily automatically always, right? Because
Not always.
people like to say, "Oh well, people just represent them." Then they just put on their representative. Like,
Yeah, I believe so.
I'm not
Like,
sure you who I am. It's still a part of who I am. Call it what you want.
yeah,
I
but
mean,
it's not a lot of that. It's not a lot of that.
Okay.
Where people are like rep coming to you like for real, like I know this person real. I know this person real. You getting a representative be like, dang, I gotta watch this person for a minute. That's what I'm saying. Let's grow to see how to grow to see these things before we get to them. We can see them spot on because we're gonna learn from the kingdom way. We're learning.
Right. So I think when you said, so go back to when you was talking about learning, I think you said, you know me, girl. Let me tell y'all, Latrice have a short memory thing. I'm working on that. Okay. But Kim, you did say something about what should we talk about? Oh, we should talk about learning the man. Can you tell me again what you said that, right? What should they look for?
You're
relationship, right? Okay, good. So I think one of them, because
wait, let's modify it in this way. Like I think all, but let's take it where you're first dating, like young, 21, 25 up.
I don't care what your age is. You could be 50 it's your first date. Because I don't want to forget the 50-year-old. So for Kim, it's the younger ones. For me, it's anybody that's dating, that's starting to date. Right.
Okay. But see,
and I'm talking, and you know me, I'll say it again. Sorry.
Older people already probably dated before. I'm talking about like the younger.
That don't mean we did it correctly.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
Look, let me raise my hand. That don't mean I did it correctly, right? So that's why I always know I kind of get on your nerves a little bit when I be saying, but I want everybody. I want everybody. Lottie dottie. I don't care what your age is.
That's fine. Yeah.
People are getting married at 70. And just what if they were still doing it wrong? I'm just saying. Because age does not necessarily mean you're wise in this particular area. You could have wisdom in other areas, but still lacked in this area. There's no such thing as perfection, right?
Right.
So that's why that's why I be like bumping the head with the everybody la-di-da-di. Come on. So I think, go ahead.
I'm gonna ask this question and you say what you think. So what do you think you would look for?
No. Okay. So what I was about to say was, I'm not going to, look for is a good way. I think when you're dating, you need to sit down and talk about your spiritual fellowship, your relationship with God. And whether it's the man asking the question or the woman, because I think finding out where they are grounded at the moment will tell you possibly where they're headed towards, right? So when you're getting to know someone, you do want to know about their personal relationship with God. Where are they? What has been their relationship up until this point where you are now getting to know one another? I think that's a good thing.
Well, I feel you. I feel that we should ask 100 questions, but I also feel that if you are a person of God, God said, let your light shine. So your light should be shining, whether it's your kindness that I see, or your attentiveness, or where you do with others, how you treat your parents. I should see that. You should not have to tell me that. I should see that. And therefore in me, I should say, I don't see that. So that's not of God.
But communication is big, right? So, one of the first things you should be able to focus on is intimacy of the spiritual relationship that you have. Just because I see you, I still think there has to be concrete questions. It has to be communication. So definitely, like she's saying, the Christian living, right? So your dedication, those are things you should be able to see. But you also want to be able to sit down and become intimate in this level. A lot of times we become intimate in other areas. I'm not even talking about sexual, in other areas, but we leave the spirituality connection separate. It's like almost sometimes not even addressed, other than probably a basic are you
Do you
Muslim? Are you
believe God?
Christian? Or are you, or, you know,
Do you
Jew?
trust God? Do you
All
believe
that kind of stuff. Yeah. So
God?
it's almost like no one wants to get deep.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we have to shy away from that, because that spiritual relationship should be the first relationship
This will be the first.
conversation, the intimacy of it. Because if I can't start to talk to you about that and I'm not feeling comfortable,
Mm-hmm.
why is that?
That's right. And the word says, when you see me, you see God. Jesus said, because I used to say all the time, I want to see you, Jesus. He was like, gave me the scripture that say, when you see Jesus, when you see my word, you see me. So I had to realize that when I was seeing Jesus' word, I was seeing him. He was actually talking to me at that time, because he was giving me the words that I need to see. And that's how you learn a person. I was talking to him and he was giving me the words that I know, because I was asking him these things that we should be asking human, getting to know them. Let me get to know you. Let me ask them questions. Let me see what answer you give me.
Yeah.
Is it of God? Are you shining for real? Is that a representative of kindness and attentiveness and well doing and, love and patient and kind? Is that, a representative, or is it true?
Right. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think one of my things, the reason why I think that's important to have, because I think communication is going to be huge. I said going to
Mm-hmm.
be huge, right? In life in general.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to need a meaningful conversation. And it already don't come easy for a lot of people. So let's go back to what Kim said. You're younger adults. It's already not easy.
At all.
So yeah, right. So I think that if you're able to come in and start with that, because that's personal. That's a personal relationship that you should already have with God. And if someone cannot communicate, hear me and hear me clearly. If someone, I don't care your age range right now, cannot communicate on the level of a spiritual fellowship with God, when you're trying to date them, you're on the wrong foot. They're telling you something's off.
They
Something's
belong to
going to be
someone
off.
else.
Say it
They
again.
belong. They belong to someone else, because
They
if
out in this world.
yeah, they belong to the
That's the
world. And
reason why I think it should be communicated, because here's another piece. So you can be a good person, and that don't mean you following Jesus. That
that's
don't
right.
mean that.
That's
So
why I
you
say
could be somebody
representative.
that's showing me some good stuff. You making me feel good. And I said, you kind to your mother. You kind to your father.
I say
Kind to your
representative.
siblings. They
Yes,
don't have, but that's why I think we need to
yes,
communicate. We can't just go by what we see. That's part of it. But
yeah.
then let's have an intimate relationship about who you are when you're by yourself,
And that's the
right?
positive, and that is the positive of this communication. The conversations that we're having right now of this, that's the positive of it right there. Communication.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nothing without
So I think it's
communication.
important with dating. If you got 100 questions, and like Kim be saying before, and I believe that too. If you get to question 22 and if something ain't right, exit. You have that
Exit.
right. Exit. You
Yes.
don't owe anyone something. I think a lot of times we get so close to people that we think we owe them something,
Mhm.
when we kind of recognize something's not what we're looking for. And there are seasons in all of our lives. We have seasons, and people can come into your life at a certain time,
That's right.
and that time can run out. That could be when you're on question 22. I'm just saying, move on. Which is why I say communicate and have fun. I'm not telling you not to have fun, but
Hmm.
don't try to, while you're being spiritually intimate, don't get out here and try to play a little game with a little touch here and there, because then you're going to end up down the other road of intimacy.
Hmm.
We don't
Hmm.
want that. We don't want
And we know how we feel.
Yeah.
We know how we feel. So you know what you feel, whether man or woman, you know how you feel, you know what you feel. So you know it doesn't feel right. Don't accept, don't engage. Let it go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If people think it's so hard, it's not hard, because you know how you feel. If you know how you're feeling right now and you get in a relationship, whether man or woman, it's going to get worse, because you feel that now and you're taking it in there, because one thing, you never asked 100 questions.
Mm-hmm.
Someone
Right.
never wanted to answer the 100 questions. So that was, let's go then.
Yeah. Yeah. So true.
So I think that's the positive of this conversation. Communication. We must have it. And it says that trust and communication. Without that, trust and communication, there's nothing.
Yeah.
And you have to have the word in order to trust. For real.
Yep. So yeah. So I like that part. So Kim, is this something like for every time we have a session when we come in here and we have our conversation?
Yes.
I guess we'll just kind of talk about something
We'll
in the realm, huh?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I guess what you really want is just whatever we talk about, let's have a learning curve to it.
Yes.
Throw it in there. Okay, well, I can tell you on the whim of that now. That might throw me off sometimes. So you might have to lead me down a path.
Like whatever we discussed. Like you just said, what was our conversation today? Because you say we're gonna continue to have conversations. So
yeah,
what are we doing? What kind of conversation are we having? Are they positive conversations? You know, so whatever
I think we want the
give positive affirmations. Like
Well, I think what we want is no matter what's going on in life, we want to have a positive spin to it, right? Because there is a lot of information that's out there. And we can either choose to harp on the negative with everybody else, or we can try to spin it and find the positive even in that negative situation.
Right.
So I'm definitely down for that.
Yes.
And hoping you guys, the main thing we want is for you guys to understand where we're coming from, and be willing to have a listening ear for change.
I just like people to learn God first. If you learn God, then you would smile so much more, because now you're learning the person who's really caring for you.
Well,
so
look, I don't know. That's some demonic stuff out here. Some will learn about God and get to running. I will tell you that. And you know what I would say? Run on.
And God said everybody won't be for me, but those that are.
Because everybody that get God information, they are not going to be smiling. They are not going to be happy.
Everyone will not be for me, but those who are, what should they do?
Right. No, I was just saying that because you had said everybody, hey, when you get God, I'm like, that is not you. Those. Look, you're gonna have the demons gonna be trembling, baby.
Yeah, that's what he wants you to do. Make them tremble.
So all of you guys are not gonna enjoy this. That is okay. Go where you want. Right.
Remember we talked prior about how people would say she thinks she's so holy. And then, I would shy away from it and be like, I ain't holy. They be trying to make fun. But, growing and reading the word, it says you are holy, because that's what Jesus is. Yeah, you are faultless, because that's what Jesus is. You are righteous. So when they say that to you, say, yeah, I am. Not putting, maybe they are using it in a negative way, but in God's way, it's a positive way. So you embrace that because you are of him.
Yep. Because I would tell you, I'm gonna be vulnerable, right? So when I was in my so let me think of when this was, and I can tell you, I think it was early 20s, maybe mid. Let me see. I had early 20s, baby. My thing to one of my family members, because I feel a lot of time when people first it get good to them, right? Learn about Jesus and then because they have just jumped ship. Here they come. Let me finish. Here they come attacking you and trying to tell you this what you need to do. And that. Let me tell you, I have a family member loved to pieces. Do you hear me?
Yes.
I used to say, get your holier than thou butt out of my house right now, because you have to be careful when you're learning and it's new.
Yep, you do.
You ain't got there yet, so don't come over here trying to speak that like you're where you're trying to go. See, you have to be careful.
That's right.
When you're learning, because it do feel good. And you want to go run and tell it all. And let me save all y'all. Come on. But you wait a minute now. And this is what I used to say. And I thank God I'm still here. Girl.
Yeah.
Because I told you, my little arrogant self, oh, I've always prayed to God. I always pray to God. I got my God, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, get your holier than thou butt out of my house.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, I just need you. I want you to hurry because, you act like you got all this time. I said, oh, what time? I got my relationship with God. She wasn't able to express because she was new.
Mm-hmm.
What she really was trying to say to me, she wanted me to get in there and really learn how to live. Not just because I was praying to God every night. Yeah, I was praying to God every night and every morning. But I want practicing and studying how to live, how to truly walk the walk. One of my prayers often repetitive was, Lord, let me walk the way you would want me to walk, speak the way you would want me to speak. But one studying nothing.
Yeah.
One studying it. And that's why I think baby learners with biblical have to be careful.
Got to be
you
taught.
Can run people away because you think you know what you're talking about. You have heard some stuff. Now you're trying to regurgitate it. And in the process of that, it looks different. I think sometimes people have to try to ensure they steer you in the right direction where you should get information. But when you come in doing all that, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So anyway, I end up learning that what she was trying to say.
Yep. I encountered it, and I used to be not like that, but like that. Like I used to be like, ooh, scaring people. God gonna get you, not knowing my God, bad God. You don't supposed to be doing this, telling people what they're supposed to be doing. This, throwing the word on them, as they say, and they're not what they wasn't where I was. So I didn't understand that because I thought I was like that. You're gonna get it. You're gonna
probably thought you was where you wasn't.
That's not our God, and I learned that.
Yeah.
I learned that in my learning. I learned that I learned.
And that's what she had to do. Yeah.
I learned God. That He is not a God of none of this confusion, nothing. I've learned that. And I learned to talk about Him. Well, I always talked about Him, but people used to make me feel bad for talking about Him. But He said, those who deny me, I deny them. So in front of my Father. So I don't deny Him because He's the person. Right. We need His steps.
Yep.
Like I said,
I think that is the greatest thing for people to understand when you're trying to tell someone about God. It's not me all in your ear trying to beat you up. It's go in there and study and try to get the information and find a mentor, a spiritual mentor that can help teach this stuff to you, because there's a lot of stuff that you can read and the discernment isn't there. I just don't care what anybody says. That's just my personal opinion. The discernment is not there because it was not there for me. I think that He does have people in certain positions and they're there for a reason. And just like He has prophets, there are different positions that people are in, and we don't all have the same gifts. So I'm not going to be jealous that someone else has something that I don't have, which for me, it was not discernment of this Bible. It just wasn't. So until I was able to get someone who could break that thing down to me, as someone said to me today, in modern times, then it makes my life easier, right? Because I'm now, I'll tell you what I'm struggling with, you all. I'm struggling with, I was in this place before in my life where I did not want to disappoint God. Let me tell you, you go through stages in life, and there are different seasons, right? And where I am, I have businesses that I have. The one that I really want to do well is just not moving the way I want it to move. My husband, I feel, wants it to move, and it's causing some pressure. And the one thing that I do know, that's not what it's supposed to be about, because God is not going to give me any money.
That's right.
I don't know what a lot of people are thinking, but He's not going to give me money. He's going to give me power so that I can tap into whatever idea He has given me to. Now I can get that. Right. So I'm trying to continue my walk in understanding of, I do have some great ideas, and I have to understand everything is not going to turn out the way that I may want it to be, but I have to keep moving in whatever idea that God gives me, because if something pops in my head of an idea of creativity that is for God, that is for His people, then I know it is from God.
That's
If
right.
it is anything that pops in my head that is self-serving, that is not of God.
That's
So
right.
that part I have understood. But what I am into trying to figure out now is ensuring that I don't disappoint my God.
Mm-hmm.
Because, this life can get challenging at times from pressures that we put on ourselves, and then we want God to come rescue us. And I'm not saying that God will not come rescue us, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think what I'm trying to remind myself of is that I started out in a place, it's gotten tough. I'm going to keep pushing through, but I have to remind myself I'm going to keep pushing through with God's word
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and understand that
Mm-hmm.
in every facet of my walk with him, even when times get tough, I
Mm-hmm.
have to still seek his guidance, even if I got myself into the little situation that I got myself into. I
Yeah,
have to continue to seek his guidance and understand that everything is not about the dollar. Now, the
that's right.
dollar is going to take care of itself, but I
Mm-hmm.
always want to ensure that I am looking out for my fellow man, because I know that's what God wants us to do.
That's
That's why
right.
we're here. We're here to look out for one another. It doesn't mean looking out for others will cause you to stay in a sunken place. That doesn't
Mm-hmm.
mean that. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of times people take into socialism as being, oh, you'll never have anything because you're always thinking about other people.
Mm-hmm.
The unfortunate part, that's the problem with the Democratic and the Republican parties, right? You
God
have
judges
one
our
where
hearts
they're
and
always
minds.
thinking about, hmm?
I said, God judges our hearts and mind. When people can grasp what I'm saying, then they'll understand our heart and mind. He know what we already thinking before we think it.
Right. And I think that the problem is that when we find ourselves only wanting to do something for self,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tell you right now, you're already in trouble. So
You
when you
already.
also start to date someone and you're noticing that everything is for self, and you're gonna know that
Mm-hmm.
by conversation as well as their walk, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that it could be either or. You can have an opportunity to talk about growth,
Mm-hmm.
what they want in the end, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then if you find out that if it's really all just about self, I think that already tell you their walk with God isn't there. And that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. I think you got to have communications. You've got to talk about this stuff, and don't be shy, because the ultimate is, if they're not for you, they're not for you.
Yep.
Go on until you find the person that is for you. And that's why you don't want to get too close without having that intimate conversation on your spirituality.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm working on as for myself. I'm working on to make sure that I'm anything that I'm doing or putting my hands to do, that I'm not doing it for myself. So
Right.
sometimes I can sit back and I can realize, I'll be like, you're doing it for yourself. You're trying to get money, you're trying to get wealth. That's why I gave you that scripture, because I was going through that. And I got that scripture. Like I said, you learn God. I was learning him. I asked him a question. He gave me the answer. That was the answer. You get
What
what I'm
scripture?
saying?
What
So
are you talking
I'm
about?
making sure that I'm not doing it for myself. I
Absolutely.
talk to him. I learn his answer. Like,
Right.
am I doing it for myself? Show me.
Right.
He'll give me a scripture or make me see it. That's what I'm saying. Learn.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Mhm. Yeah. You do that for a person. That's why I said, let the light shine. That's what God said, let our light shine. If your light
Yeah.
shine, you don't have to say a word, but that light is halfway flickering on and off. Oh no. Something wrong with your bulb.
Mm.
We got to get you back together. And that's what we're trying to do. Just trying to get families back together with positive conversations. And that's what we're having.
Yeah. And I tell you, everybody, listen, y'all better have these conversations, because everybody ain't got time for God. I just hate to
Yeah.
be, it's just
Everybody,
blunt.
no. You
Everybody
said
do not
everybody
have
right.
time for God.
Right.
And baby, if
Right.
they don't have time for God, you
find those that do. You keep going. What his word say? If they don't want to listen, you
yeah,
brush them off.
boy,
So is that hard
ooh-wee.
for you?
It's
It's
some
not
stuff
hard for
out
me.
here. There's some stuff out here. So
Yeah.
that's why I think you guys got to have these conversations. Don't let people fool you
Yeah.
because they got a good heart. You can
Yeah.
have a good heart all day,
Yeah.
So
It'll come out.
Yeah, but
And
you
it'll
don't want to
come
waste too much time. That's why I don't ask them questions. Don't
out.
go
Ask some
ask
questions.
them
That's a
questions.
good answer. Don't want to waste all this time. Ask your 100 questions.
Yeah, ask them
You don't have to
questions.
ask them in 1 second, but ask those 100 questions.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because My thing is, God put this stuff in play for a reason. He knows what is best for us. That's
right.
why he has these standards. And the majority of us that did not follow what he said is paid the price in some form of fashion.
Yeah.
These standards are there. Learn them.
Learn them.
Practice them.
The word
Don't
of the
run.
day. Learn.
Yeah. Don't run. Don't run from it. Don't run from it. Don't run from it. I was talking to one of my sons today. No, yesterday. And we was kind of like talking about this on the leadership thing, and he definitely agrees on having a relationship with God and the foundation and stuff like that. And I would just, I was being emotional about my walk and wanting to ensure that they get it, that they learn from it, and not feeling like they can just kind of like repeat the same stuff.
Right.
Almost, because a lot of people feel, especially when you're younger, I think, I can make my own mistakes. But listen, we've made a lot of mistakes for you already. So take heed to what we're saying.
That's why they say, listen to the elder.
Yeah. Take heed to what we're saying. If it's coming from a good place, because all elders are not wise.
I was about to say all elders are not wise. You have still teachers.
Yeah. So if it's coming from the right place, and they're trying to save you from making the same mistakes, take heed. Listen. And my son, he was just like, Mom, don't beat yourself up, parents, they go through and, they make their mistakes. And that's why, they try to come and ensure that their children do better, and I was like, exactly. And I said, not only you guys, I want your children to do better. That way, if you do better, your children will do better. And it will be just a continuation thing. So it's not even just about you guys being better. It's about my grandchildren being better because my son said, look, because, I've been divorced. And so my son is like, yeah, my life was great. Now, does it warm your heart? Yes. But at the same time, I told him, I said, he's like, look, I have no complaints on the way I grew up, and I'm like, yeah, but but imagine if you had this particular piece, which is you had your father in the house growing up with you, right? Yeah. Versus, okay, yes, you have a stepdad. I got that part. But imagine if you can now take your beautiful life as you see it, that your life was great. Imagine if it was now you added to it a stable environment for your children. So now you have an added piece to evolve.
His light is shining. Like I'm listening to you, like his light is shining. With you looking at just not even, as your son, would you say he would be a great husband?
Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. I feel, because my baby's 6, so I can't talk about him. But my my 3 boys, my oldest, I think are going to be great husbands.
Yep.
And fathers. Absolutely 100%. I do feel my daughter is going to be a great mother. Here's why I have an issue with the wife part. At one point, my daughter wanted to be the boss in the house. Listen. At home. What? So we still working on her. Now, I'm not telling you that she's 100% there now, but I do recall a moment, high school, okay, that I was like, wait a minute, what? Because the problem was she saw her mom doing so much, and sometimes we can make things look so easy. But keep in mind, my husband ain't never just sat at home. I haven't had that. However, she saw me as the person who does more, and it's so obvious, right? So my daughter, out of all the kids, my daughter is more in tune with everything that's going on. Now, it's not that my sons aren't, but I don't know what it is. This girl, she is.
She saw you speak like a boss.
Say it again.
Walk like a boss. She saw you speak like a boss, walk like a boss, talk like a boss. So she's.
Well, my sons did too, but the problem So I talk to my kids a
Yeah,
lot. And I
me.
will say my daughter, even with all, I will say I feel I can get through more to my sons than my daughter.
Mhm.
Why that is, I don't know. But I can tend to have a conversation with my boys. And I mean, they sit there and soak it up. And we talking about adult. With my daughter,
Mine
it's
still,
almost like,
it's the same way. My son
yes.
would listen. He'll be like, "I hear you, mom." He'll just sit there and listen till I'm just done.
Yeah. And
But
we
that
have great
water, baby, she
dialogue.
be like,
Great
"Nah,
dialogue.
everybody
With
not
my
like that." This, baby.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that's why I say I will say with my daughter, mother, yes. Wife, we're gonna work on that. So I have a book, I told you, that is supposed to be all of us. So when my other son gets here, everybody will be here together. And instead
Okay.
of that once a week read that book, we're gonna get that book and she's gonna be right there. And I
Okay.
ever told her she's gonna go with me to Bible study tomorrow. And so she was
Yeah.
like, okay.
Yeah.
Because I want her to understand life is not about perfection.
Mhm.
That although she may see her mother in a certain light, I have my faults too, right?
Mhm.
And I don't want her to think that she has to be superwoman in order for her household to thrive. I want her to understand whose she is, what that entails, and what that husband is truly supposed to look like.
Right.
And I think that's going to come from outside teachings, not
Learn it.
just from me.
Mhm.
With
Mhm.
her. Now with my sons, yeah, it's easier. But with my daughter, she is one of those who I think I may have had this conversation with you before. You can have children where you're telling them something. They go to school and they hear it from a teacher, and all of a sudden they come back and repeat the same thing you told them, but they'll
Yes.
tell you from the teacher.
Yes.
So that's my daughter. That's my
Yeah.
daughter. And
Yeah.
so I'm okay with that, right? Because I did that with sports. If my coach told me something, it's like versus my teacher in the classroom. It was the same
Yeah.
thing, but it came from my coach. So I get that part. And definitely when you're talking about parents, I think that whomever you are around a lot, which is your family, those are
Yep.
the people who irritate you the most. And so my daughter, I feel her irritation is strong for the people she's around all the time, which is her family. So I'm going to get her more open to some church community, um, young adults, right? Um, and someone that could, I think she can see in a good light, because she does have, my daughter, she has there's some type of tension there in the realm of male, right?
Mhm.
Not from, let's say, my lack of talking to her about it, but from just how the men are. She sees,
Mhm.
her eyes
Mhm.
are open. And that, unfortunately, and you got to think, my daughter have seen me married, divorced, remarried. And in her mind, well, it ain't you, mama. Well, I'm not perfect, right?
So should we be asking them 100 questions as well?
No, that's what I said. This is both. That's why, if you heard when I was saying it, I said it doesn't matter if it's him asking the question or her asking the question. Both
Wow.
people have to be having these conversations.
No. I'm saying should, like, the parents be asking the kids 100 questions as well, the younger adults. See, that's what I said.
You
We
better.
don't know.
You
We don't.
better.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
that's
We
part of raising your children. If you're not asking your children questions and their
100
opinions
questions.
on
I'm
things,
like 100 questions. I know they like you getting on my nerves, but let me ask 100 questions. Ask me 100 questions. I think the questions should be asked at all times. That's what I said. We don't know it all. We're just having conversations, and we're using our positive, what we've learning with the kingdom, walking with the kingdom, what we've experienced. We're just relaying it.
I hope parents are having conversations, asking questions of their children. I would tell you that's something I've always done. That's nothing new. Um,
Mhm.
but you know what? You're right, because my parents weren't asking me questions.
Yeah.
Look, they
Ask
was
questions.
talking, and my dad was definitely a teacher.
Yeah.
But he wasn't.
That's what
I
I
was
said.
that
Because the
kid
kids
that
are
got on my
involved.
dad. I was that kid that got on my dad's nerve. I would pose 100 questions. He's
Yeah.
teaching, and I'm Hey, daddy. And he, and I will tell you, he kind of discouraged me from being so inquisitive because I got to ask so many questions that he started calling me Doubting Thomas. And that was very offensive because I wasn't saying that Jesus wasn't real. I just wanted to dive in a little bit more. And that is why I also say you can't just be the teacher. If you really don't have that information, it's okay to say, well, I don't know, but let's see if we can get the answer. Parents have got to be okay with being vulnerable because you are not perfect. You are not Superman, nor are you Superwoman, a Wonder Woman. So you've got to be able to be vulnerable with your children. And I think I'm that way only because my mom, I think hers stood out more. She refused to be vulnerable. So I went extreme and I am vulnerable with my children. So I do think that's an important thing, that you should be asking your children questions and then ask them, well, why do you feel that way? Don't try to shy them off because you don't have the answer to now they shut down. You know what I mean? Because that did happen to me. And I feel it was really because my dad didn't have the answer when he should have just told me that and said, well, let's see if we can find that answer for you, because he had someone that he was really following, his mentor. And a lot of the questions that I did ask, of course, down the road, I didn't get the answers. And they had been addressed. But sometimes we have to be careful that when we're trying to represent Jesus, that we're not trying to let our own light shine. And that removes our humility.
Yep. That's why I say we're just having conversation. We don't know. We're just trying to live, live in the word and not in the world. So we're talking about how we're living in the word. Like we're giving it
and learning stuff.
We're learning. That's why I say we're going to learn together, because you never stop learning.
Never.
All the great things of Jesus. So you never stop learning anything. So
I always tell people I love my beautiful journey with all of the ups and downs that I have had. I still love my life. Are there areas where I would like things to be different? Absolutely. But I love my life. I love my life.
I just want to talk about the word so that we can help other people to experience the goodness of the Lord in the land of the living, because it is goodness. I don't care what is being heard in the news. God has goodness. That Bible wouldn't say it if it wasn't so. So that's why we're just talking about growing. Like what did Tree say? She's been through a lot of things, so she's learning.
And I still love my life. Let me
love her life.
Yeah, even in not understanding the Bible truly and what I should have been doing, I still love the journey that I have been on. Because you know what? Through all of that, all of my mistakes, I continue to evolve.
Yes.
And thank God.
Jesus.
That I am still here and learning.
Yes.
And learning. And what Kim wants you guys to do, learn with us. If there are some things you guys can even, put in the chat, make a comment at any time and be like, well, hey, have you guys thought about this? And it'll be something that we can dive into. We are definitely open to having discussions with you guys on something that you want to talk about biblically.
It could be just learning. The next conversation we could talk about is just learning how to be kindness. What is the word about? See, we want to do things. The next conversation could be about doing things that's pleasing to God. So God is watching you. So you have a conscience of what's pleasing to Him. So we could just talk about some things that we've been doing that's pleasing to Him. That's a form of positive conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So guys, I guess that's it for tonight, huh? Or
I know it's deep. We're not trying to throw the word on you. It's just we're living in the word. So if you're living in something, you can't help but to talk about it.
Yep.
In your everyday life, you're going to talk about everyday life things, but in the everyday life things, you're living in the word. You're going to talk about the word. So not trying to throw it down on you or anything. It's just that we're living in the word, and we want to learn, and we want to learn with you. So again, Latrice.
Yeah, look, sorry, y'all know, here come Latrice. I don't care how you take, because I'm not trying to I don't think we're trying to throw it on you. This is how we talk. This is
Well,
because when we started this is our everyday conversation.
yeah,
And
every
so
day.
we just wanted to bring it to a podcast. So for those who it's going to connect with, great.
Mhm.
It's
Mhm.
going to connect with you.
That's right.
We just want the bloodline changed for all of
That's
us.
right.
We wanted to started with our family, and now we're out here having the conversations with you so that you can change it in your family.
Because if you see someone out there not being kind and pretending and representative, I want you to get on here and say, look here, I saw them being representative because I heard your show. I knew they were being representative. I could spot it. They was being fake with the kindness. That's not being of God. You're fake. People can spot it out. So those type of things we could talk about next time.
Now, Kim, was that positive?
Yeah.
Now, Kim, was that positive, or did you just bring us to an end on a negative note? If
No,
you're
it was positive because I was like,
that was
if
not
that you could
positive,
be
you
like,
guys.
the
Kim,
positive
what the
thing,
crap?
the
Let me tell you
positive
something.
thing was they learned of what we said and something that we said let them know that that is not real. So it was positive.
That's negative. Take that negative out of this. No, you are not finna end with. And look,
That was not negative. Okay.
Kim said we finna end it with this. Look.
Okay, look.
Okay. Girl, you are so funny.
No, I'm waiting. I'm waiting to see what we're gonna end it with. What you're gonna end it with next week when you come on was like my husband heard us talking and he was very attentive.
Wait a minute, say that one more time.
You're gonna come back on Thursday and you're gonna be like, oh, my husband heard us talking and he's been very attentive for the last 24, 48 hours.
Oh, you gonna say that? Because what are you talking about? My husband ain't nowhere listen to this podcast.
Yes.
Making up over here. One thing I ain't finna do, I ain't finna lie. Look, y'all.
Yeah, we're just having fun. Just having fun.
Over there in the corner to my son. Yeah, let me listen to what she's saying. Oh, okay, yeah. Girl, if he like Bill Cosby, he don't hear his name. Well, let me not call Bill Cosby. Anyway, if he don't hear his name, he ain't paying no attention.
Yeah, you don't know that. He could be. You remember what I said when you was riding that bike? So that bike had to go get one to ride too. He might be listening, and next thing you know, but like, oh baby, he's in the kingdom. He's trying in the kingdom, baby. He's attentive, and it wasn't fake. See, that's not negative. That's positive.
Kim, go sit your butt. Oh, so let me tell you guys what I am working on.
Okay, go ahead.
Because if you guys can remember in the beginning of our podcast, I'm a cursor. I will throw it in there in a minute. So one of the things that I am working on is my cursing.
I as well.
I want to, girl, you don't really cuss. Well, I don't think you cussed in this podcast, but I know Latrice has.
Because I gotta learn from when I'm angry, go to 100 to curse. That's the only time. So I'm learning that.
So those are the two things for me. It's the quick to anger and cursing. So number one is cursing. Two is the quick to anger. So I will tell you, I used to be a person who was slow to anger. I'm not lying to you. I was slow to anger, but I still eventually would get angry. So one of the things that I want to work on is getting angry, period. Right? I want to, because anything can be addressed, it's how it's addressed. So that's an important part for me to bring back in how I address whatever it is that's bothering me or a family member. Well, if it's bothering a family member, that's the reason why it's bothering me. So I want to work on not being so quick to anger, because the truth is, if I know whose I am and who I am, you can't come back and condemn me. You can't speak negative over me. But I've got to remember who I am, because people will try to dim your light. And in that process, one of the things I do not like are liars. I don't know what it is. It's to the highest level. I cannot. A liar.
I think everyone says
and
that.
So for some people kind of go with the thing, you know. But for someone to lie to me about me, oh my goodness.
Oh
And
yeah.
I want to work on that because I already don't like liars, but now you lying on me specifically. So those are the things I'm working on. So you guys definitely one of the things you'll be able to see. So
Mm-hmm. Well, next week we are
if
talking.
you hear me throw out
Hang
a
on.
curse word because I'm cracking up with Kim or at Kim, child, not throw out a curse word, put in the chat. Don't do that.
So Thursday we're going to talk about some of the things that we can say that we're doing when we know that we're being angry, that we're aware we're being angry. What are some of the things that we're doing when we know we're being angry? We shouldn't be angry. Do we stop and think about it? What are some of the things that we're doing? So that you can talk about it how you want to, Latrice, but that's what I want to talk about Thursday.
Say that again now.
What is something that we do when we know we're getting angry? What are something, how are we aware? Since we are aware, what are some of the things that we do when we get angry? Do we stop, count to 10? Do we think about it? Do you continue just raw at it and curse? What are some of the things we do?
That we should do. Could you say, or that we
Yeah,
actually do right now?
Right. What should we do when we know
Okay,
we're
the positive part of it. What should we do
That's right.
when angered? What should we do when angered? Okay, that's good. Yeah. Definitely. I like you said, count 1 to 10. I'll say my count 1 is sure. Count to 50. No, I was playing, but yeah.
Just 10. You only 1, 2.
That'd be a slow count.
Because you got time to be like, oh.
Like, oh my God. So I just gotta I need to also tap into why does that anger me?
Mm-hmm.
Because you lied on me. It's something that am I looking for validation from you, whomever you are, right? Because we all got different stuff. So but yeah, so anger, cursing and anger, and then me definitely trying to tap into it. It's just a personal thing for me. Try to work on why do I care so much if someone lied on me. So anyway,
what can we do?
What
we're talking about Thursday, what can we do when we get
angry? What you said, the signs. What should we do when we notice we're in the realm of anger? Okay.
Yeah. Write it down. What do you know we're doing when you know we're in the realm of anger? Because it could pop up at the light, like, go, lady. Stop it.
Ooh, baby, that road race. See that's what I'm talking about. Girl.
Patience.
I remember my baby, my third son. He had to be 4 or 5, and he had just came back from his father's. And I was, he was in the tub, getting to get ready to go to bed or whatever. And it was something I don't remember. I was fussing, and he was sitting in the tub, and he looked at me. He was like, "My daddy don't fuss at me." Oh God, Jesus! And I will tell you, his dad is calm. Like calm that you want to push your button to see if anything else can happen, and I wasn't, and that started me. He is now 19, but that started me on the journey where I did not do the rah unnecessarily with raising of the children, right? Because having different people in your life and being able to see how they are in different situations can also help you grow. And just my baby saying that the harshness of me, chastising him, fussing at him for whatever it was, there was still a different way I could have communicated that, right? And so I want to get back to that in the aspect of whatever in my life. I want to get back to that. So yeah, we'll definitely discuss on Thursday what we should do when we know we are in that realm of anger. Yeah. So yeah. All right, you guys. It has been great. And as you can see, again, I want to remind you guys, we have changed our time to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tuesdays and Thursdays, where you can catch Kim and Latrice from Startup to Takeover. There you go. On any platform where you watch the podcast. We will see you all Thursday. Thank you for joining us. We're out.
Good night.
Good night.